Hey, you are connecting with Kassy. I have my beautiful sister-in-law here today as we talk about the topic. Get ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready.
All right. So, today's topic, what we're going to talk about is being married to twins. Some of you guys can relate. Some of you guys probably can't. But y'all know I like to start off with a quote. So, the quote that's going to be related to the topic is twin souls born together, destined to walk through life hand in hand. I'll read it again. Twin souls born together, destined to walk through life hand in hand. Do you agree with that quote, Brooke?
That's layered. Okay. So let's get into
Let's get
it.
into it. All right. So, I like to be extra. And for those who don't know the true definition of twins, I have that here. Twins is a pair of siblings that have their own language and communicate with each other with just a glance. Twin souls share the same blueprint and are forever connected. Do you agree?
I do in some ways. I definitely do.
Yeah. Before we get into it, I'm gonna just say shout out to the twins' big brother Otha. We love our big brother so much.
Hey,
Shout out to Otha.
okay.
All right. So first,
Yeah.
is this your first? No, let's start into it. How long have you been? I'm just at an overall relationship
hmm
with your spouse.
I've been with my spouse overall going on 7 years, I believe. Yeah. And how about
And
you?
it's been about 20.
Oh, okay.
But married for 10 going on 11,
hmm
but about 20 overall. All right. So,
Wait, so is this the first twin that you ever actually dated or been with?
no, I've dated another set of twins before,
What?
but not twins like both. But
Right, no.
I've dated another you remember the person. Well, I've dated a twin
No.
before
Okay.
around my birthday time. Remember that situation around my birthday?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Around my birthday?
No.
Brunch.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, okay,
gotcha.
yes. So yes, this is my second relationship with a twin,
Okay.
but they were fraternal. These are identical,
Identical, which is
which
different.
is
That's
different.
the thing though.
That
There is a
there
difference.
is a
I feel like
difference.
there's a difference from the way fraternal twins connect to each other and identical. Identical, I think they're more
Sometimes two and two. I think they feel like they are one person, even
I
though,
think DNA wise they are like I don't want to say technically one person, but in a way, yeah.
yeah.
But in a way, yeah. So, but listen, that's not. This is not. This is my first.
Your
So,
first relationship with a twin.
with anybody who was a twin, yeah, I really
Wow.
didn't even until I met my husband. I didn't even really know that many twins, to be honest.
Really?
Not really.
Girl, I'm surrounded. Y'all don't have no twins in y'all family?
We do, but not in my immediate family. Like my
Okay.
long distance family, we
Yeah.
have a bunch of twins, but not that I like grew up around
Oh,
or anything like that. So no, this is like my first. And once I met my husband, it was like twins everywhere. You know, your
yeah.
daughters, and then it's like twins, twins.
They
This just kept
cousins
coming up everywhere. Yeah, for sure.
and down the tree line.
Right.
So I have fraternal, like you say, not the immediate family, extended. So it's
hmm
like three other sets in my family, but they
Right.
all fraternal. So with them being identical, it is my first identical relationship,
Gotcha.
or yeah. So, but I did go to school with other twins that were identical,
Yeah.
etc.
Gotcha.
So how is it? We just gonna start. How is it? I would say I'll just go first. It's you have to take. I feel like you have to take. It ain't just one. It's two. You got to take them both.
That's true.
So it's an overall experience. Like, and we like okay. We just how men like to say
hmm
women talk.
Yeah.
Twins talk. I feel like the most.
They're right. So they're just like super connected in a way that, like you said, it's almost like you get one, you get both in a way. Like it's not like you're married to both, of course, but it does feel like that sometimes
Yes.
in a way, just because the closeness is just beyond sibling. They're not
Right.
just sibling close, like, oh, this is just my brother and me and my brother close. They're like beyond
Beyond.
sibling close. It's closer than that. I don't even know if it's like you can explain it, because I think it's just a special kind of bond that identical twins have that
So speaking of
it's hard
that,
to explain.
just like when you was pregnant with Bronx,
Yeah.
my spouse had morning sickness.
And I had never even heard of that before.
That
I
yeah.
literally never even heard of, like, I didn't. First of all, let's backtrack. I never thought that the whole twin thing was like a thing until I realized it was a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole I didn't even understand that. I didn't even know that was a thing. When you told me that he was having morning sickness, I looked it up, and like, that is like for real.
Yeah, cause Tony ain't really experienced. He probably like they both. I feel like they probably gained weight a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But Antoine was like smelling stuff and nauseous and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm at my house, have to listen to that. She probably home knocked out sleeping her bed because she ain't been bothered. But I had to deal with that. And that I thought that was pretty cool, but at the same time it was like,
Weird
what the
too.
hell? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
weird too. Because it's like, what?
but I would say overall, like it's like you say, siblings are siblings, but these is different because I feel like when you're talking to one, sometimes you might as well call the other one and say something too, because
Okay.
like for instance, yeah, like I could say recently when I was about to go out of town,
Mm-hmm.
your husband called and say, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" And Tom's like, "Oh, she finna do this, she finna do that." I'm like, "Well, dang, he might as well call my phone and ask me."
Yeah.
You just,
Yeah.
it's like
Definitely.
and they don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
It's like they talk, but then I look at Money and Mari when they talk to each other, or somebody tell them something, she turn around. I'm like, dang, why you got to tell your sister? It's
Right.
like it's an experience. It could be good, and sometimes it could be aggy, but
Yeah, but your experience is even more unique because you don't just have a husband who's a twin; you have children who are twins. So
oh, that's another
that
topic.
gets into a whole nother dynamic, whole nother level. So yeah, it's different.
It's very different. But I would say overall, I have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Me and husband, and we done couldn't stand each other times because he felt like when I do stuff to his brother, he felt like he could throw his 2 cents in, and I feel like he know who to play with. So I feel like even if he probably wanted to say something, he ain't gonna say nothing to you. Probably gonna say something about but he ain't gonna not you, no. So I feel like with that, I used to be like, but we came to a understanding like Tony just stay out of it. I guess that when we had a situation in the past where he felt like, oh, you be doing stuff to my brother, I had to check him.
But I think that also speaks to the identical twin. They feel the need to like naturally just protect each other.
Yeah, so
so I think that just rushes in as soon as something happens, and you have to find your boundaries with that, which I'm sure he eventually had to find his boundaries.
Yeah, because I remember that day after that, it was like, listen here, I don't care about you and your brother. I said what I said, but it's like the next situation, like it was another incident. He was like, I'm staying out of it.
Right.
But it's like you say, boundaries.
I think it's hard for them to find boundaries sometimes when you're identical twins in separate relationships, because you're so used to being like, y'all grew up from the jump, everything about y'all two. Mm-hmm. So then now you get older and then you have to separate, and now it's not about just the twins anymore. Now the twins have their own family and own life, each one. So I think it's difficult for them sometimes to really separate that and be their own. Right. Which is why sometimes I think I've seen like different identical twins parents who they say, oh, like, we stopped dressing them the same, and like trying to separate their identities, because eventually they're gonna have to separate. You know what I mean? So I think that's where some of that comes in handy sometimes.
Charlie used to tell me to stop buying them the same stuff, and then now it's like I want y'all to be your own person, but it's like I push that.
Right. So it's like you kind of
because I complain about
groom them to be like like one person, but then now you want them to be individual. So yeah,
I mean, like, be your own person. You don't have to do what your sister doing.
Right. But it's tricky because it's so cute when they're young. You're like, oh, everything you want to be like together, same outfits, y'all do this. But then when you grow up, you need that separation.
Like my mama say, these two older women, they like 80s, they catch the bus, they twins and they still dressed alike. And she be
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, cat, like she be wanting to say, cat dog it.
Like,
But
let it
I'm
go.
like, yeah, let it
Yeah.
go. But like you said, they get their own dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
The pros and cons about
About
dating.
being married or dating identical twins.
We can say married because we married now.
Okay.
We ain't dating no
So being married to identical twins, I would say a pro is I feel like if my husband can't do something, that my brother-in-law will step in. As far as like, I feel like he would. Like, let's just say if there's something that I don't know how to give an example of something that he might step in and do, but I believe that
Like
I
I
have
said,
that support from him if I needed it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I think that is definitely a pro. I know Tony would do the same thing for you.
Yeah.
And also with the kids, I feel like let's just say something heaven forbid happened to Tony. I feel like Twan will try to be there for my
Vice
son, and
versa.
and even for Mina, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I feel like Tony would do the same,
Yeah.
be like that father figure in their life. So that's a pro because
Yeah.
you automatically have that kind of built
in
in.
that
I didn't
bond.
have to do a lot of. I don't have to beg Twan to do that. That's just
Yeah,
like
we just
naturally in
yeah.
him, to do.
Yeah.
Because if you really want to talk about the scientific part of it, technically, biologically, our kids are not just cousins,
They
they're
brothers and sisters.
siblings, right? So what that would mean is that Twan is not just
His uncle.
biologically his uncle, he's also biologically his father.
Same
And
thing
same
with
thing with
Thelma and
your children,
Louise. Yes.
right? And the same thing. So Tony's
Yes.
not just not just their uncle, he's
Yeah.
biologically their father as well. So
And it used to aggravate me, but I get it, like you
right.
said, because even like
Because
when
they can't help it.
they
Like
can't help it,
that's
like
like the
when the
DNA.
twins was like, "Oh, I think I want to invite company over." Tony, he got to be over there. I'm like, "What you got to come over there for, nigga?
Yeah.
You ain't the daddy." But I
Mm-hmm.
get it, like you
Yeah.
said, he always felt like they were the
Yeah. They
it's
have
like
that connection,
got
just like the same connection as a father would have. Like you have that bond on almost like Twan bonded with Bronx like almost
oh my
initially.
god,
There
you
was
would have
like
thought that was his baby,
for
which is
real, for real. Okay,
doing the
and just
most.
and I used to think to myself like he is like such a a cool uncle in the sense that like he always just like during my pregnancy always buying stuff and doing this and doing that and trying to get that. Of course you did that too, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
just from the uncle standpoint. He
It's
was just all
more
and I was like, well maybe it's because they twins he's so involved and like so you know what I mean, identical twins that he's so
because it's like they have other nieces and nephews,
mm-hmm.
and I know some people, probably feel like you say it's that closeness.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids are automatically going to be more close and
Yeah.
tuned. It's just something like it's just it's just
No,
the
that's
way it
honest. No,
is.
that's very, very true because there could be like other nieces and nephews, and of course they love them the same. But you have to understand that the biological
Yes,
connection is like a child father, not like a
yes,
uncle
yes.
and niece or nephew. So it's gonna
So
be different. It's
and
gonna
if
be
you
different.
didn't understand that, like if y'all have someone, y'all can relate. Like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, you can relate.
If you know
um,
twins, if you have identical twins in your family
you
or
can
friends,
you can
trust me,
relate.
you're going to be able to relate because it's something that's just there. It's underneath the surface and it's there and you can tell that there's like a connection there no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yep. And I would say I agree.
Oh, wait.
What?
I was naming the pros. I didn't name the
Okay, yeah.
cons.
Okay, but I agree with you with the pros. Everything
Yes.
you said,
Yeah, yeah,
that
for
like I
sure.
agree with you
It's
for
just
that.
like a built-in someone that's there no matter what, that support
Right,
system.
because if even like what that was awkward.
Mm-hmm.
When I was pregnant with the twins and that
So,
experience they had to share together
yeah.
with it was crazy,
Right.
but I've never experienced
Yeah, because when
any
you were pregnant, Tony probably felt like he was finna have kids too.
right. But I remember, at the time when he was, and I guess it depends on who it is because
Yeah.
the bond, like
Mm-hmm.
y'all bond, y'all close, y'all have a connection, and we always want to be a part, just like y'all always want to be a part.
Right.
The same with Antoine, and I think you could go with the cons, but I'm gonna just start off with the cons. I think the place.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people don't know their place as far
So you
as
mean like the boundaries,
the boundaries,
basically. There's
yeah.
no right.
So, but you can go,
That's the biggest thing with the
yeah.
cons. So we're not even gonna lie. The biggest thing I think with being in a relationship where you are dating an identical twin is probably the person you're dating, their identical twin is going to sometimes lack boundaries. I think. I don't know if it's going to be in all situations, in all relationships. I think it's something that you can learn and that they can build on. So maybe it starts off terrible, and then one day they learn to have more boundaries. But I do see that often. I even see it on TV when I watch shows and different things like that, where I would see like twins dating like different. Because there was a show one time on
all the sets of twins.
It was like a set of twins, and they were dating, and it was like it just enmeshed. It was like. I mean, but these sets of twins were kind of crazy because they wanted to stay with each other and everything. That's what I was going to say.
Remember the ones because her sister and she had a chance of finding love, but because her sister, so she just put herself like.
So the show that we're talking about, I don't remember what it is, but the show is basically different sets of twins in their love life and dating life. Now these twins are like super codependent. They want to live with each other. They want to still dress like each other, stuff like that. Our husbands are not like that.
They're not like that.
But
they have their own little friends, their own little stuff.
Right. They have their separate stuff. But in the show, basically, you would see the twins overstepping the boundaries in each relationship, and that would be, and that's a good example to show that it still does happen, even when the twins are not like crazy and trying to dress like each other and live with each other. You still get some of the overstepping just because. I just think that it started off with two twins, and then now the twins are breaking off and going this way. They still feel like they should have the same involvement in each other's lives, and I don't think that I think sometimes those boundaries are hard to maneuver for them. That's what I feel like. It's hard for them to grab their bearings on that, but they learn over time because, like you said, it was one way in the beginning, and now it's gotten to a point that it's another. So, if you got ones that are healthy enough to learn the boundaries, then you can get through it, but it ain't easy.
You're right, though.
It ain't easy, but yeah, that's another thing. What is a con for you?
I would say,
other than the boundaries,
I feel like they flip flop sometimes.
What you mean?
Like one way, one could be fine, and then 1 minute the other one, they flip flop, like depending on the moves.
You mean like? They have different moods from each other, or they flip flop like match each other's moods.
Like, okay, for instance, one may be chill. They go out. One might be chilled this weekend. The other one might turn up. Right. The next weekend, the one that turned up might be chilled this weekend, and the other one turn up.
But even that is one. But let me tell you about the one. There's a different one that I was thinking about. Sometimes I feel like the twins, they play off of each other. So for example, if one is chill and the other one turned, then that energy from the other one get the chill one all like hype. Like hold up now, because I think sometimes they play off each other's energy.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And I think that energy is because of that connection. Right. So that's another con because it's only a con like, okay, let's just say Tony's sitting here chilling and or Tony here mad. Let's just say Tony's mad, and then Twan come in and he's all happy. Okay, well in that case it's a good thing because now you don't got him. But what if it's the opposite way around and Twan come in mad and Tony happy? It's like, damn, now he done threw off the So the energy, so they vibe off of each other, and that can be a negative thing or it could be a positive thing depending on the vibe.
Right.
But what people don't want to talk about with the cons, girl, is I didn't know this was a thing.
What?
But with some twins, specifically ours, and I've seen with some others, they like to get into fights a lot with each other. Like,
yes.
But I'm not talking about as kids. I'm talking about as grown-ups.
Yes, they.
I don't know what that is. It's almost like I don't want to say a love-hate thing because I think there's always love. But
it's something with them because even like with my girls, they'll fight each other, but they can't not fool with each other.
Right?
They'll argue. I might argue with you and I ain't gonna fool with you. I don't care. Right. Whatever you can be.
But it's not like that with twins.
Yeah,
they'll fight each other and then the next thing you know,
face like, oh, what you doing? Yeah. Wait, what you doing? Did you not forget?
Like last night.
So yeah,
Yeah, so that was weird to me because I've seen siblings fight before, don't get me wrong.
right, but
But I've
them,
never seen siblings that are so close in one moment. Then the next thing you know, it's like battling, and then the next thing you know, it's back to the closeness again. And
yeah,
it's happened so quickly. You're like, oh, I thought y'all fell out. Oh,
right,
yeah, back on again. Like
right.
I had no idea.
So that right there be like,
Yeah. That can be crazy for people who are not twins and don't really understand that kind of twin bond, because I remember when I first started dating Tony, and I remember like him and Twan would go through things back and forth like sometimes, and they would be upset with each other. So I'm thinking to myself when he's like, Twan will piss me off, or Tony, I'm thinking like, damn, they done fell out. Like I'm thinking like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and next thing you know, 2 days later, everything's back. They back on the phone. Everything's fine. I'm like, well, okay. So I had to learn not
to get
to
into
not to go high and low with them, like not to let it affect my feelings when they're happy, and then when they're falling out, and then they're happy again, and then they falling out.
because
I
that
just keep it
thing would
even
drive,
killed, just
yeah,
like,
it
you know what,
just,
they'll be all right, they'll figure it out. I don't get into it
yeah, because it's like
because
we ain't gonna win. It's like, you know.
I don't, but at first it is hard to deal with, because I'm like, well, I'm thinking like, dang, did they fall out for real? Is this a serious
Girl, I done
thing?
got used
And
to
then
this.
yes, over time,
Like,
I like if it's like, oh, me and Swan beefing, like, oh, okay, like I just left. Listen, that is none of my business. That
because
is
they're gonna
on
be
y'all,
right back. Don't
right?
let those twins play on y'all, because they
Mm-hmm.
will play on y'all. And then if you try to pick a side, don't pick a
Yeah.
side. They on the same side.
Yes,
They ain't on the
that's
same
one
side.
thing. Yeah.
Just it's their own little thing.
Right. They have their own little secret society. That's what I like to say. I feel
Yeah.
like twins have their own little secret society. It's not
And
that they don't talk about it, but it's there.
that twin telepathy is true for real.
I believe that too.
So it, like you say, it goes beyond, and it takes strong people, strong
I,
women
to
to
marry
like,
identical twins, absolutely. It's not
and
easy.
it's because I remember being at y'all wedding. And Twan was in tears.
He
I
was
thought he like he was.
It was sweet.
It was sweet, but it was like, you know,
It was sweet, but you was over there looking like, nigga, why you
nigga, you
crying?
don't, yeah, like,
You
but
like,
like
yo,
I don't.
but to be honest, in that moment, you could tell like he
He was
really felt
happy.
genuine
He was happy.
happiness.
He was like.
But I think that there is something where they actually can feel each other's feelings
Yes.
and emotions. So I think in that moment, Juan literally felt like
I want to say
what Tony must have felt like to finally
yes,
be getting like your happy
yes,
ending,
yes.
your
It's
wife,
like
your kids,
and
like
he and I felt like he knew that you completed him. Like he felt
he felt it.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought that was
it
was a moving and a
it
touching
was,
moment.
but I did look like
You were looking like,
and I looked at her like
you was looking like, how you gonna beat him to crying? You're like,
yes, because it's like
yeah.
let the groom, but he that stuff like that. If you ain't got strong girl, he be like, what the? Because you're not ready to slap you. Fix your goddamn face.
Girl.
So yeah, we both have great relationships.
Right.
I can call Tony be there. She can call Twan, they be there. They definitely show up for each other.
You and Tony got way more skin in the game though, because
yeah.
y'all been at this for years and years.
Yeah, because
Me and Twan more new to it.
But he might be bipolar, but he know stay my way, let me be. But I always like that Tony be straight up, he be honest. And you know, her husband is the oldest twin.
Yes.
And then I got the baby twin. But it's just good to have a relationship well, you can, because not everybody can have relationships with people.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
it make it even extra special, and that make it extra special with us as well.
Yeah,
because we bond, we mesh.
That's what we bonded over, really. Just the
Yeah.
fact that we have a unique experience.
Yeah.
The unique experience is that we happen to be married to identical twins, and I don't think anybody ever thinks like that's something to bond over. It is. It is. Trust me, it is, because the experience is very different from just having someone who is okay. I have a husband and he has a brother. It's different. It's completely different.
It's different. So I feel that, like I always, I'm gonna include, like I want to include, like it's just like they separate, but I feel like we just one big thing. I used to look at people take pictures of the twins. I was like, they look crazy, but then I used to find myself like, well, we should do this, we should do that, but it's just, I guess we kind of, because of the connection, we also
we connected as a family.
I call her my twin wife.
Yeah, that's very true.
So that's
twin wives in the house.
Yeah, we just
But that's so
That
true too, because I think about it too. Like the family that we married into is a big family, right?
yes.
But between your family and my family, even though that bigger family is close, within that circle, we're close as far as our two families
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact of the bond of them being identical twins.
Right.
Meaning, if let me give you an example. Let's just say that I'm having something to the house, right? And I say, "Oh, I don't want no kids." That don't really include your kids.
Right.
That just includes family
Other people
kids,
kids. And it's
right?
nothing
Because it's
personal.
not like that. It's not saying it's personal to the children. What it's saying is it's the same thing as if I'm at my house and I'm having something. You know, my kids gonna be there, right? Because right. But we're not saying, but no outside kids per se, right?
Right.
So if that's the case, I still consider them kind of like that. They still my kids.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
still
yeah,
part
yeah,
of it. They're
yeah.
still part of the. They can still come. Okay.
Right. And then it's just like you say, it go back to that connection where they
Hmm.
uncles and daddies at the same time.
That's what
So
I'm
it
saying.
just
Exactly.
the same stuff don't apply. Unfortunately,
Right. And it's not a dig to
it's not. It's
anybody. It's
not.
just
It's
a
just
level
that
of closeness that's there
yes,
that like I said, them coming would be the same as having a sibling there. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
So it's
right,
like
right.
it's just a
And
it's
then
a
with our kids also being so close, it's
mhm.
just
And then you notice too that the kids, they don't even necessarily bond like cousins. They bond like siblings.
siblings. Right,
Like
right, right.
your kids is from day one since Bronx was born been crazy about Bronx. They always been in
Right.
the Bronx, and vice
Jalen,
versa.
Mina.
Jalen and your twins, they always been close. They've been like siblings for real. They grew up
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
they grew up
And
that
then
way.
even when because I got a daughter outside of my marriage, even and
Yeah.
that's another thing. They just swooped Mina up and just brought her in here
Right.
just as if she was
That was
Tony's as
my
well.
niece the day
Right,
one. Day
right.
one.
So I do think that that would go on the pro side as far as just being able to have that kind of like village, what we were
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. I think that being married to identical twins gives you an automatic village that you would not have
Right.
had it not
Right.
been that same way. Not saying
Right.
other brothers or siblings can't be a village too,
But
because
it's
that they can,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
a unique type of village that's kind of
Yeah.
like built in from jump.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's definitely true.
Exactly. So I don't think I got we pretty much because we really don't have nothing like as far as like cons really bad. Like that's pretty much
Yeah,
that was
that's
pretty much
just the.
it
I think the
as far
boundaries
as
is the only real
yeah,
con. Is I
that's
mean, well, hell, boundaries is the only real con in life
in life in general.
because
Because
really
everybody
like
you gotta have boundaries.
boundaries
Some
with
people don't have no
everybody. So
boundaries,
right.
and that's when the problem have to
So
come.
within.
But within they really they know us, they
Mm-hmm.
learned us, they know, and like even if I'm like I come in the room, who you on the phone with? Oh, you being nosy. Boy, you ain't on the phone with nobody
Nobody
but
but your
Tony.
brother. Yeah.
Like, you ain't got no you got a
Yeah.
few friends, but I know you it's like, y'all, it's they crazy. They call each
Very
other
true.
every day, every
Yep.
morning, on the way to
Mm-hmm.
work, the same stuff.
Yep.
And I already know that's Tony calling, and I'm sure you know he calling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Do you ever? Was there ever a state? Because you've been around them for longer. Was there ever a time you couldn't tell them apart? Because I always could tell them apart, and I don't know if
I
that's
could
just something.
always because when I met Antoine, he had dreads, Tony had
Braids.
braids.
Okay.
I
See,
feel like
I think
they
they look slightly different in the face too.
slightly different. Like just you really because my sister's dad, he said when I guess he first seen them, he said one lighter and one darker, and I'm like,
No, I think they're the same color.
but mine and Mari, mine a little lighter than Mari. Like if you
I never
really look,
noticed.
like it's really like, and then you got one a little taller. It's like the
It's
little
always a
stuff.
little something subtle,
Yeah.
right? For
So I'm
sure.
like,
Yeah,
but with them, they even when they had their dress, like it was
you
a
can always
picture.
still tell it's it.
I can still tell, but if you like look real fast, you
Hmm.
might be like, wait, who is that?
Right.
But
Especially as kids, if you look at some of their kid pictures, I
yeah,
don't know who was who child.
yeah,
They do look alike for in
exactly.
that part. But once they got
So
older, and the personalities, that's one thing.
personalities, they are
Night and day, in my
night and
opinion.
day.
Yeah.
I feel like Tony more chill, calm. Twan is he like to go out, socialize more,
Okay,
or
so Tony. Okay, Twan is way more outspoken than Tony for sure.
outspoken.
He's more outspoken than Tony. Tony keeps things more to himself and will blow up after keeping things
After
in for a
yeah, yeah,
long
yeah, yeah,
time
yeah,
after a
yeah.
build up. Twan, I'm not saying he don't keep things in, but he will blow up before Tony will blow up for sure.
Or he just like I guess he know me so long, he just know.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on? Something wrong? Like just like you say, just gonna sit up there and say,
right.
Who else? What else?
So yeah, personality wise, so that's the biggest difference between I think our identical husbands is that they're just one is a more extrovert and one's an introvert. So let's just say that.
Yeah, because I feel like
because Twan,
but I think
because Twan like he'll get her out and be in a crowd and start talking to people and stuff.
It depends.
It's not that Twan like if he's feeling it. Okay, gotcha.
If because he sometimes he just act like. I don't know. I just feel like if we're out, well, I know you experience that too. If you're out somewhere, they gonna go outside and call each other to see what each other doing and what's going on, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's come in here and enjoy. Now you got to go out there and call your brother, see what's going on. You know
that's
what's
the
going
boundary
on.
part, right?
The
there.
same thing was going on.
Go
Or you gotta let him know what's. Oh,
so yeah, okay. So we can't say that's a con in a sense is that. But I don't know. It depends on who you asking because maybe we're just weird like this. Because hold on, it could just be that we're weird. Because my thing is because it's not just your brother. I mean, it's not just Twan or it's not just Tony. In general, I don't like nobody giving a play-by-play of what I'm doing.
I don't either.
You know what I mean? But because they talk so much and so often.
But with them, we used to it.
Right. And we already know it's going to happen. It's not like a problem, but it's just like they naturally just tell all our business to each other. like okay.
Well, yeah,
I can't even give like an example, but it's just stuff that you may not necessarily be like,
I got one, but I'm not gonna say. It's like
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Go say it. Go say it.
But it's like I be mind yo. Man,
right. Or don't say that. Like, I don't want your brother knowing that. Like, chill. Like, you know,
but it's just Tony. It's just Twan. No, it ain't just that. It's just my business.
Right. I'm just that part. But so that can be sometimes a con. But I think we get over it and we just start realizing that most of the things they gonna tell each other. So you might as well just let it go, child.
Exactly. It is what it is.
Yeah. But as they've gotten older, I do feel like more times that I talk to Tony and tell him about like it's not about who you tell, it's really just about how I am. I'm more of a private person, so just scale back and keep it together.
I'm private sometimes because I just, but I'm a what is it? I like to keep certain things private because everything ain't for everybody, but sometimes they don't get it. Right. But I have to realize too, we both come from two different families where they like me. For instance, I'm the person. I'm gonna specify invite only. I'm just gonna specify that because I know like when they come from a family where I feel like it's everybody's invited. You know, family, you're all invited. Me, how I come from, everybody can't come to your house. They can't be doing like you got to be. So I feel like what am I trying to say? That
because I feel like that still I think that's falling under boundaries still.
Okay, yeah. Like it's I don't know.
Maybe it's more like, but I'm trying to. I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to figure out if that's specific to them being identical or if it's specific to just how they the type of family they come from. You know what I mean? Because everybody's family is different.
Well, okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. When I feel like a package deal, like that's just something automatic. Like with twins, even if you were one. Is it's like a package deal.
I think that's the best way to describe it. Actually, it's a perfect way to say it. It's a package deal. That is the experience of having a identical twin husband. Is like a lot of things with that identical twin is a package deal. Right, you don't just get your husband. You get the sibling as well.
But you gotta like the twin as well. Get and so like I say, I love her children. We good. Right. We have a sisterhood, and that's outside of our spouses. Right. Whether I'm mad or not or whatever, it
Right.
still don't
Affect us.
affect us
Or
or
when they
whatever.
beefing, it don't affect
It
us.
don't
If they're
affect
beefing,
us.
that's on them.
We just stay out of it
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Let it
just
blow over
let
because
it
it always
blow.
do.
Because if we get in that, then we just gonna be looking
Right, and
crazy,
we're
and
gonna be
then
happy with each other 1 second when they happy with each other, and then not the next second. So we really just stay out of it, and we've built a relationship outside of this. So our relationship does not depend on their state, like if they're good or not. It just has nothing to do with it. And to tell you the truth, that's the same thing with what's I call it. Like if they're good or not, it doesn't affect. I'm not if they're beefing, I'm not mad at Twan.
right. Because it
If
really,
if him and Twan is
I don't
beefing,
pick
you're
a
not mad
side.
at
I don't
Tony.
pick a
No,
side.
right? We
I
don't
don't.
get into
But I
that.
can say if somebody wrong,
But yeah, wrong is right is right for
who
sure.
wrong. Whether I know in the past, Antoine felt like I took up for Tony.
Right. Oh yeah, we tell the truth when it
Yeah,
comes to
like
that.
you have to. Like you have to. You can't
If Tony
sugarcoat
wrong, I
stuff.
tell Tony he wrong. If
Right.
Twan wrong, I'll be like he's wrong. But I'm just not gonna start being like I'm not gonna. I don't have a dog in that fight. Meaning, like if Twan is wrong about something and Tony's mad, I may say, okay, yeah, Tony, you right about that. Twan was wrong. But then when I see Twan, I'm not like, boy, why you did it? Like it's not like that. It's still like that's still their business, and I'm still just gonna carry on. That's still my brother, and moving on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
But
it's
I'm
just
gonna
like
just say
that.
this. I ain't gonna let everybody mistreat you. I let your twin do one thing.
Right.
But I just feel like me and then us being married, like
That's
I'm
true.
gonna feel some type of way about other stuff. It's just with that connection, like she said, it's a fight we not gonna win,
Right.
but it's an experience overall. I
For
would
sure.
say it's a blessing because you just have the double support on
Yeah.
both sides.
That's true.
I can honestly say with my children, they all, I know life happens with other people, but they show up for each other. No, I feel like they show up for each other
Mm-hmm.
like beyond what is. I remember one year birthday, we didn't really do anything, but because we didn't really do anything, was no cake and anything like that. The husband's like, I don't care. He come over there. He don't care if you see him. He's never missed
A
a birthday.
birthday. That's true.
Like same with they don't like
Miss, yeah.
miss.
And that's a good word that you use, is the showing up for each other.
Yeah.
That I think that they show up for each other in ways that are beyond siblings. It's not it's something beyond siblings showing up. And that's a good word, showing up. It's a show. They show up and show out for each other in that way. Like that's one thing I can say about their bond that is very rare and unique, is that it does not matter what's going on. Even if they beefing with each other, they show up for each other and their children and each other's kids.
Regardless.
Period.
And they ain't even got it. They can not be talking to each other.
Yep.
But they gonna be there for them kids regardless. And then eventually
start talking again.
So like we just stay out of it, and it is what it is. But overall, it is an experience, and it can be a lot. But like I say, it
only the strong survive.
and
here we are.
Here we are. So not too many people talk about it, but I'm like, we're gonna talk about it because
I don't know if not too many people. I don't know if it's because they don't experience it. I don't know how rare being married to a identical twin is, first of all. But I do know that I don't hear anybody talking about it. But it is something. It's a thing. It is truly a thing.
It definitely is.
So congratulations for being one of the first, I guess, that we have heard that's been talking about it, because it's a thing.
Girl, it is. We already ran into the other question about having a relationship. It's important. It is important.
What was the question?
Is it important to have a relationship with the spouse?
With the spouse of okay, gotcha. Okay, yes.
I think it is very important.
Absolutely.
Because that is like,
I always felt like it was important in the beginning, because I was like, they not finna gang up on me. I need to ally myself. So,
but
not to say that I would ever think, both of them. Girl. But, like, I mean, like, opinion-wise, like, y'all not just go, like, you need somebody that's an ally that can be like, do you see this shit? Gang. Do you see how they acting? Or, like, you need that. So, in the beginning.
Or, like, I ain't tripping. No, you're not tripping. Like,
about something. So like,
you have to have, like, they got their little connection. You gotta have your connection. And it's special, like I said, to have a connection. Not just saying that, but like we have a really good relationship. It ain't nothing like straight up. Like we always, it's just that's
always
what
positive
it's been.
vibes.
Yeah,
like
when you connect, you connect. So,
and the thing that's cool about that is that we built that on our own.
yeah,
They didn't have to foster that for us. They
mm-mm.
weren't like, oh, you guys should hang or you guys should do this. They didn't push it. It was just
Mm-mm.
a natural thing that really just happened.
Cause look, we not gonna be on that stuff. That little crazy
Girl,
stuff. I ain't
no,
faking it. I ain't
no.
pretending. I'm not doing none of
It's
that.
been real from the
So
get go.
that's a good thing. Like if we don't like somebody or something, it's
Mm-hmm.
just we not even gonna play like that. It's just it ain't nothing. It ain't forced.
That's very, very true. That's very true.
So
It's never been forced.
yeah,
So, and I think that's even better. I think if you are a twin wife, in how we would say, I think it is important that you build your own relationship with that wife that's outside of, or that
or the husband.
husband that's outside of that the twin identical twin relationship, because you gonna need that support, child.
You definitely gonna need it.
You gonna need
Because they are separate, but be like the same
Mhm.
person.
That's a good example. That's a good way to describe it. Separate but the same.
But yeah, I enjoyed this conversation.
I did
There's so much that we
too.
could talk about, but we ain't gonna have y'all all in our business like that. But this is the general, like what it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, so again,
We're
y'all
gonna
think
start a
y'all
support
can,
group.
oh yes, we definitely need a twin spouse support group.
Okay.
Cause for real, them people be crazy. And like on my next topic, when I talk about having twins, like oh well, you can relate to because they you know they got their own little group chat.
Yes, girl.
I ain't know that.
What do you mean for just the twins?
It's Kamani Kamari and
Tony
Twan,
and what?
and then they got the one with the kids. Or
I told
something.
you it is a secret society without saying it's
but
a
I
secret
always
society.
find out. I'm gonna find out because I'm sure. I'm like, dang. So I feel the way. Why we not in the group?
Let them have their chat.
But we got because it's so many group chats or whatever. Because we got one with us and our kids, but I ain't like that. I said, hold up, they what they got to talk about the four of them, and it be the same stuff we probably talk about, but they got to have their own.
Child, they say
They
identical
Aggie.
twins
They
need
Aggie. They
need their own safe space. They need their own safe space to be twins, child.
And I'm gonna say and one funny thing is when her son, when Bronx was little, and he came to our house and he got dropped off. As soon as Twan walked in, he was like, "Daddy!"
I didn't know that.
That ain't your daddy, boy. That's your uncle.
You know, I always wondered about that. Like,
he used to call him Daddy until he like. We used to be like Uncle Twan, Uncle Twan, Uncle Twan.
Really?
He did. Like
I always wondered that.
He did. He's like, Daddy. I'm like, that is not your daddy.
Like, Jesus, he's not.
He's not. Like, I know they got the same identical prints. They can take a test, they might say, but I'm like, bro, this ain't your daddy.
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah, you never knew that?
I never knew that.
Yes,
nobody ever
girl,
told me that. Because I always used to wonder, like, was he going to get him confused? But then I was thinking, because her husband has long dreads. My husband used to have dreads, but has had a haircut for years. So, I used to wonder if they were going to get it, if he was going to get it confused. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but it makes sense because my dad is not a twin, but he has an older brother who looks just like him, and we used to call him Uncle Daddy growing up. See? So I can see where
that John was too funny because he was like, Daddy, like he was waiting on him, and I'm like, that is not your daddy.
Like, wrong one. Close, but not exactly. Yeah. What I was gonna say was, when did your children actually realize that their dad was a twin? Do you remember? Like, do you like really it sunk in for them?
I don't really, because I guess because he's always been around. Like,
yeah,
I think they always seen two people.
Did they ever get it confused?
I don't think they ever got it. Not that I know of, but I just remember that they always, like, you know, Tony, like, even when, you know, the problem, Tony's in the living room, like, it's always been two.
Which is so weird.
Very weird. That was some weird stuff. Because I wouldn't want to be like, I see you when you have your
baby, right?
I see you get out, but that
you don't get out.
That was crazy. Like, what, you got your brother? I guess they had to experience that together, but that was some crazy stuff. Like, now you taking me back. Now I don't go back. Let me come back.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna get mad again.
Look, see, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of stuff. But you know what I think they should do one day? But I don't know if they ever gonna do it. I think because somebody would have to cut their hair or grow their hair. But I think they need to either. I think they need to do the exact. He do.
He do.
If he ever does, They
He
need to
gonna look
dress
like
the
Tony.
exact same way
I said, I
and see if
already
we
know
can
what he gonna look like.
and we can see if we can tell them apart.
Oh,
But I think Tony is like, well, I know we'll be able to tell because I think when you're intimate with someone that you can kind of just tell their vibe. Like I can tell.
To
can
me,
sense
they sound different.
they do.
Like even though people say they can't tell, come on, or whatever.
I be struggling with Kamani, but okay, Kamani and Kamari back in the day I was struggling. Now I can tell them the difference because I've learned them a little bit.
And they personalities
are different,
right? Definitely
even the fact that I can tell them apart because Mari talks to me way more than Mani talks to me. They're both super nice, super sweet girls. Love them both. But she talks. She engages with me more than Mani. But Mani is
super introvert.
But I noticed that Mani is always sitting back and like Monty always like sitting back and just be like looking for ways to like be helpful and stuff like that. Not to say that Mari doesn't, they both do, but those are just the characteristics that I've noticed about them. Like Mari will engage with me verbally a lot. We'll talk, like she'll say stuff. Right. And then and Monty, she kind of shows her engagement a little bit more through action. Like she'll come sit by you or
she like to be like behind. She just I've been calling her super introvert because Mari more
out there.
We be trying to make Monty loosen up, but out of them, I would say Kamari is Antoine.
I was just about to say
Kamani
that is Tony. Yeah, that's very, very true. I can see that.
And even though Tony the oldest, they like so my oldest acts like her dad, the youngest, and then my youngest acts like her uncle, the oldest twin.
Yep, makes sense.
Yep. This is
well. It's definitely something to elaborate on and build upon. We should talk about this again.
We do. We got to come up with that support group because, baby, I'm sure it's other people out
there.
Reach out. Let us know. We are here.
You want to have a group. We understand you. We can have wine and conversation.
And it's going to be okay. Just, but overall, it's an experience. I wouldn't trade it.
Me neither.
And it is what it is.
Yep.
And another topic we had, the fear when you was pregnant.
Yes.
Did you have a fear of having twins?
Absolutely. Let me tell you a story, honey. If I could bring if I would have thought I would have brought this ultrasound in my ultrasound picture. So first of all, I was very scared that I was going to have twins, and I already had my son with my husband late in life. So into my 30s, I was like 35. And for me, that's too old to be having kids. For me. Okay, I ain't talking about nobody else. For me. Okay. I should not have been having no other baby. But I had my son. And at the time before I knew it was him, that he was going to be a boy or just one baby, we got the ultrasound done. I promise you, it was the ultrasound where you can kind of see their face like more clear. It looked like there was another fucking face. It looked like two fucking faces.
Oh my goodness!
I am going to actually.
You got to show me that.
I actually probably do so you could like pin it so you can
show me.
Yes. Show me. So it looked like another face. Like you could see his face clearly, and then in the back, like you know how you see like all the tissue inside your stomach and stuff. It looked like another face. We literally had to ask my mom, my sister, like, does that look like another face to you? I was like terrified. Girl, I was terrified. I did not, especially, but it's worse for me because now think about it. At that time when you had your kids, it wasn't like I had to think like Tony didn't have twins at that time. See, when I got pregnant, her girls were already there. So I'm thinking to myself, if his brother already got twins, he done had already had a son, he probably gonna have twins next. So I was terrified. Girl, terrified. What about you?
That was some foolishness because I'm thinking, okay, I'm freshman year of college having a baby. And a baby.
It was bad enough. A baby. Right.
And I go to the doctor. I think I was like 9 to 10 weeks. It was like really early, and I had to do the intravaginal sonogram or whatever. And I seen two. I say, do the vagina got a mirror in it? Cause it's a reflection. And when the doctor like hooked whatever up, it was 3 heartbeats detected. Mine and two babies. I was like, what the freak? Like, what the freak? And then he didn't talk to me for like a whole 2 hours. How you mad at me that I'm pregnant with
Was
twins.
he mad at you, or was he just in shock?
I don't know, because I remember his dad was saying, it's nothing you can do. It's two babies. It's a blessing. It's like I think he was more mentally prepared to have one
that.
child.
Yeah, right. Same as you.
Yeah, it was just like one, but it was like y'all can't be like I think I was in shock and denial. It took me a while before I even mentioned anything.
Yeah.
But that I was like, nigga, it's your fault. Like, and I asked the doctor, is it one sack or two sacks? Because I remember, like, knowing that the fraternals are two different sacks.
Right.
And they was like, it's one sack. Nigga, this definitely your fault because I got fraternal in my family and they identical. So
yeah,
that was it. When I had my second pregnancy with AJ, I was hoping it was. I'm glad it was one, but I'm glad it's one. But it was like the fear of what if you have twins again, because my doctor was like, he's delivered back-to-back patients having twins.
Oh my God. But I think the part that kills me for your story is I remember my first pregnancy and just feeling overwhelmed with having one baby. And then for them to say there's two.
It was like 2 mouths, double everything and all of that. But
I know the fear must have just doubled for you at that point.
It did. And I'm like, I'm young,
What I'm going to do with two babies at once.
But it made me who I am today, like strong. And if it wasn't for my village, as parents, I was young. They didn't, they want you to grow up and live your life and do that. I didn't get it, but growing up having my kids, I understand a lot of stuff now. Yeah. And I want the same for my children. So I really appreciate the support that my village, like, that's good. Mad or not, tough love, my village come through. Yeah. Every time I still had that support from my village. So it's like great. It is, I wouldn't be able to. Because I don't know how I survived. Two girls graduating at the same time. Like I said, that was just, everybody was like, oh, they seen you're gonna be a lot. You finna be broke. Who? My village helped me out. And for the record, we ain't even spend over $1,000 for prom. Wow, you guys did so good. We did really, really good. Yeah. I feel like it was maybe 8 total. Like, that's good though. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like stuff like that. Like, oh my God, it's gonna be 2 of them. It's gonna be this and that. It's gonna be a lot. I just, like I said, if it wasn't for my village, I probably been lost. And I am forever grateful for that. Yeah, thank God for that. That alone was an experience, and then I didn't go full term because I had a lot going on. But the fear of pushing 2 babies and that was just a lot. But at the end of the day, when it happened, I said, let's just get this over with. Or I tried to change my mind. But I did too at one point. I can't do this no more. So you don't have no choice. Right. That's what y'all ain't gonna tear me up. But that I can't believe I survived it. Yeah. So, but you know what? That is a good segue to one of your upcoming episodes, which is going to be about having identical twins. So that's going to be good. That's going to be good. So I look forward to chatting with you guys again. And thank you for having me. Of course, this ain't gonna be her last visit because I'm always got something to talk about. That part, and I'm always ready to talk. And then we're gonna look out for her because she got something coming. Just wait. I'm gonna keep y'all updated. As soon as it come out, I'm like, y'all clicking, y'all go ahead and follow and get it cracking. But I ain't gonna tell you yet. Just of course, the support is real. It's always been real. Always. And we just connected with Kassy, but we connected on some twin stuff and some other stuff. And love it. Yeah. So